I was working on a video over the weekend and it wasn't ready for my Monday morning weekly video release because the adventure wasn't finished. I still had stuff to do on Monday. It's kind of an interesting story, but the gist is I went out with my bicycle and camping gear to do some stealth camping, and I wound up doing it pretty early in the day and pretty close to home, and there was a good reason. Traffic built and built on the two-lane road I was on. The bike lane kept disappearing into a row of potholes, and the traffic was just in both directions coming really fast, at least 50 miles an hour. Speed limit's 50. I recognized that a 15-mile-per-hour top speed, which is what I was doing, was not safe at all. I don't care what the law says. I'm still alive all these miles as a bicyclist with no helmet by using common sense. And North Territorial Road, northwest of Ann Arbor, on Saturday in mid-September was no place for a bicycle. I don't care what the law says. So I stealth camped. So the video's about that, part of the adventure that I had of stealth camping and how I handled that pressure. So enjoy the video. If you like it, click like. And if you haven't, subscribe. There's so much more fun to be had in this gigantic playground. Come along with me. Wilson's over there taking a break. I am too. I might stay here. A little stealth camp. It's pretty stealthy. I gotta go get some water from the river. Thing is, there's just no, well, the bike lane is narrow, or it's full of potholes, or it's not there, and that you can hear all the traffic. So I think I'll stay put and just enjoy the beautiful fall weather. It's September 16th. There's a little bit of a color change, and the leaves are falling. I was laying in my hammock and they keep hitting me. And there are a lot of bugs out. Nothing biting, just big bugs that won't hurt you, but they'll land on you. Look at this beautiful. Is that a big old walnut tree? That's amazing. And all the yellow leaves falling. That's a beast. You know it's coming. I'm not ashamed. Let me have a moment. Look at that. See the walnuts? Let's look for my camp. I can still see it, but only because I know it's there. It's Saturday afternoon and there's so much traffic with the beautiful weather that it's just dangerous without a good bike lane. People pass you really close. They don't want to, but they don't want to have to slow down to as slow as you're going, because they're not able to pass you, because on a two-lane road, the other lane is in heavy traffic. It's blocked. It's unsafe. So they either got to go real close to you, or slow down to avoid a head-on collision with oncoming traffic. So a lot of times they just go real close to you. It's a judgment error, and they're human, and these things happen, but that's how people get killed on a bicycle, which is not my objective. Excuse me, I got something in my sandal. That's why sandals can be a pain in the ass. They're quicker than boots to get on. They're better in hot weather. This is the thing. I got a water purification system. I won't get into that. But first, I want to get some water. You got to find a place where there's not growth on the surface. It's deep enough to dip the bottle, and it's not so hard to bend over the water to get it. And sometimes that's really hard to find. You can see the dip enough to submerge the bottle is the problem here. But maybe not. Let's see. I might luck out. Whoa, don't fall in, Dougie. Guy's wearing that orange, but he's fishing. He's even got it on his dog. Which means he's afraid of a hunter, so it must be bow season for deer. That'll do. No need to obsess. Okay, let's talk about this. This is my Sawyer Mini aqua filter. It screws on. You have to get the right kind of bottle. If you don't have the right kind of bottle, you're in big trouble. Unless you use their part of this kit. When I got it, it was like a big syringe, so you could suck water out of little tiny seepages. Sometimes that's the only water available in dry areas. Michigan does not suffer that problem. Anyway, so you have to have a bottle that matches the screws on that device, and then what you do is you squeeze it through and it's microfiltered, so there's no biological impurities in water. Can you see my socks down there? I got 2 pair of wool socks. I got my extra sweatshirt, and see that towel down there? It contains a baseball-sized rock that I put on the fire for about 10 minutes. And for 2 hours, it's kept my feet toasty warm, and then it just lets all that heat get trapped inside the sleeping bag. Because it's 60 miles an hour winds out, and it's flippin' freezing. In here also, in my pocket, I have that water purification thing, which has worked really well this trip, and you can't let it freeze. So I'll show you why it's not still attached to the bottle. It's flippin' freezing, Mr. Bigglesworth. Jenny, look at her. And there's the still stove. It's gone cold after I heated the rock. And the beautiful snow is falling on the cedars. Now, chemical impurities can come shining through that filter, but that's alright, because it wouldn't be that big a dose. I mean, you're not drinking from the same body of water with this gizmo that frequently. So, betcha I don't die. if you wind up camping in an area with locust trees, which is what this is. Look at the bark, it's distinctive. And the leaves, and these little seed pods. Yeah. This wood burns so well. It burns green. But if you're doing what I'm doing, and you're walking around the camp in this nice, thick, soft grass in mid-September, one of these downed locust branches has quite a hazard, so you'll want to have your sandals on. There it is. See that? They're like rose thorns. Ouch. Those can get easily buried in this as the grass falls down, and then you step on it and yowza! You know how come I know that? Because I stepped on them before. I was just noticing how, you know, this is not the most secluded spot. I can hear the traffic. I can hear the ringing of the crickets. That's a constant. When the traffic subsides, I just heard some kids far away having fun. And it's been breezy, which, you know, sound waves travel on the air. And what a breeze is a concentration of air moving faster than air usually does. So there's all this swirling stuff, because I've seen the trees doing that, and I've heard louder sounds, the ones I just described, or quieter. So that's what the air does. It's beautiful. To tune yourself into that, this is North Territorial Road, as roads go. It's got an awesome name, North Territorial, and it's pretty, and but it's narrow, and the bike lanes are not continuous. So I was riding my bike a couple of days ago, planning on stealth camping, but not so early in the day. But it was a Saturday, and the traffic just built and built. And what happens is, with a two-lane road like this, if there's traffic coming at you in that lane, and all of a sudden your lane is blocked by a bicyclist, you have to get over. And when you do that, you're cutting off someone going with a lot of velocity right towards you. You risk a head-on collision. So what people do is they make a judgment error that's very dangerous for bicyclists. They say, okay, well, here's the bike, here's another car in that lane, I can't use that lane, I'll just keep going as fast as I'm going and hope that I don't hit that bike. Maybe I'll come a little close to him. But that's the problem. And people on this little road, they're commuting. They're still looking at it as a high-speed highway. The speed limit can be anywhere from 35 to 50 miles an hour. But let's watch and let's see what happens to that bike lane. It narrows down to a foot wide, and me with my saddlebags on, I'm sticking out in the road. It also degenerates into a bunch of potholes, which means you have to either stop your bike or roll over the potholes or get out in the lane I'm in with the car into traffic, which causes people in my lane to either have to slow down to the speed of the bike or risk a head-on collision by crossing that double yellow line, or option 3 is to hit the bicyclist. So this is why I stopped the other day. It was a steady stream of cars coming this way, steady stream of cars passing me plodding along on my bicycle, and then all of a sudden, where's the bike lane? Well, it's sort of there. It's a little bit there sometimes. Oh, now it's not. And when you're going over a curve, around a curve like this to the right, that's the least amount of time that a car driver is going to be able to see you because he's coming around that curve. Until he gets around it, he doesn't know what's up ahead. And all of a sudden, he sees a bicyclist going 15 miles an hour, which is about my top speed, in the lane which he feels is his. But look what happened to the bike lane. Where is it? It's full of potholes. It disappears. Now you're taking the lane from the high-speed people coming by you every 20 seconds in their cars. And you're going to either make them slow down to your speed and wait till traffic clears in the left lane to pass, or risk a head-on collision by moving into this lane over that double yellow line, which is totally illegal and dangerous. And the third option is to hit the bicyclist because they make an judgment and error, thinking that the corner of their car is not that far from the bicyclist. Anyway, what happens is a bicyclist takes the brunt of their poor judgment, and it happens. And it's part of being a bicyclist, and you're not mad at the cars because they do that. I'm just telling you why I stopped. Because I saw that with this level of traffic on this road with intermittent bike lanes, it was a dangerous thing to be out there, trusting all these strangers to not make the wrong judgment call. And I'd rather stop and hang out in my hammock in the shade, and that's what I did. Now, why am I going back? There's two reasons. One, so I can show you that bike lane and how it deteriorates. You know, you think you're taking a road that has a nice bike lane. Well, surprise, surprise, where'd the bike lane go? Oh, now it's potholes and crappy shoulder and gravel. So, and add high-speed traffic, there's a problem. Second reason is, when I stopped, and then the next morning when I packed up and left, I lost my keys. And so it's important for me to, I'm driving my sister's car. Also, I don't have a car. I'm green. I ride a bicycle wherever I go. And if I have to borrow a car, I do that. And it made sense for me to borrow the car and get this task done, run back and look to see where I camped. Are my keys still there, laying in the grass somewhere? I bet they are. That's why I got the camera rolling, because it'll be a nice thing to find those keys. I have happy confidence, like I do all the time. I'm a one-note song when it comes to emotions. I have happy confidence. Look at that awesome corn crib and that old jalopy. Isn't that beautiful? See, these are the things at 10 miles an hour on a bicycle you get to see and enjoy. And at 50 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, you get to whiz by them and say, oh wow, that would have been fun to look at for a little while longer. Anyway, we're making progress. I'm going to shut this thing off and keep driving, and I'll turn the camera back on when I get near where my car keys are probably laying right there waiting for me. Well, here we are again. There's a walnut tree I was hugging. There's a river where I got water. So in this area, I came this way when I was leaving. Once again, the mission is to look for my car keys.
Oh, she's a beauty.
There's a walnut. They come in this husk, this green husk. It smells like limes, actually. Looks a little like a lime, and it smells a little like a lime. And they break open. Watch. See, and inside is the walnut itself. The stuff stains really bad, so you don't want to get it on your fingers. But there's a walnut, just like a walnut in a shell. And then you crack that open after it dries out really well. And that's a black walnut. They're not like the commercial walnuts. They have a much stronger walnut flavor, much more bitter. I don't like them. So I don't harvest walnuts. I used to live in a place that had a walnut tree over the driveway, and every fall at this time, hundreds and hundreds of these things would fall in the driveway and end up driving over them, and it becomes a rotting, nasty mess. Let's see. Keep your eyes out for the car keys. What a tracker does is exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking for keys, they look for tracks. And what you're doing is systematically sweeping the area by looking at everything and taking a moment to see everything. Oh man, I've had it in close up this whole time. Well, that hunt for my keys was not successful, so it doesn't matter if I had it in close up. This is where Wilson was. Anyway, looking for something is exactly like tracking. You're just sweeping the ground with your eyes, and you're going slow, and you're noticing everything. You take time to notice every leaf. This is surprising, though, that I didn't find them. Or haven't found them yet. This is where they would have been lost, I think. But since they're not here, that was not where they were lost. Well means I'm not finding my keys. But that could change any second, as you realize. One more sweep of the area. See if we see my keys. Well, I prefer to look on the bright side. Alright, so I lost my keys. I've already got one replaced. It's not car keys, so I don't have to worry about getting them replaced. And if it's not here, it's somewhere else. I know that much. Maybe it's in my bag somewhere, but I thought I thoroughly checked them all already. Hear the roosters crowing. Look at that bug. Big old stink bug. Where's my keys, bug? He doesn't know, or he's not saying. Not sure which. Okay, so this is where I stealth camped. And here's the good news. There's not one scrap of a candy wrapper, nothing. I left no trace. Isn't that right? It is right. That's how I roll. That's how we roll. We who love the environment don't mess it up. This is actually a pretty easy search area. Once I was hunting in West Virginia, bow hunting. Many years ago I had a digital camera and I'm taking a few pictures. This is before cell phones had a camera. So I had this little digital, just to take pictures. It wouldn't even take videos. But I paid like $300 for it. Back then that was a good deal. Technology is priced. They come out with something new. Everybody who is technophobe, gotta have it, and they get it. Okay, that's really cool. They waited in line all night to get the new Apple phone or whatever. And I love it that there's people that love that stuff. But if you wait, they get all the bugs out of it in about 6 months to a year, and then the price comes down and down and down. So anyway, this digital camera was $300. I had used it for a couple of years. It was really cool to be able to do that. But I was hunting in an area and it was fall, like this, only mountainous. Walked in on a trail kind of like this, hardly any use. Hardly anybody walks on it. You can see how I disturb the grass with my feet. Anyway. So the leaves came down after I noticed that I had lost my camera somewhere along this trail, because when I got to where I was going, I didn't have my camera, and I had it when I checked my truck and left my truck. So I knew it was on that trail. I knew it was under those leaves. I walked that trail. It was 2 or 3 miles both ways, many times, kicking every leaf. I was way wound up in the outcome, and that was stupid, because that keeps you from being able to find stuff. So I went to a radio shack in a little town near our hunting camp, and I bought a metal detector. And I walked that trail with the metal detector, sweeping. I still didn't find it. I think another hunter must have come along and found it. I hope you enjoyed my pictures. But nope. I brought my bike this way. I could not get around the curve to get through there. That's the only way out of here with a bicycle. Turned it this way and I came right through here. And I don't see any keys. Well, my strategy of optimism paid off. I stayed positive. I got back home. And I had not found my keys on my little field trip back to where I stealth camped. And so I said, alright, I'm going to have a glass of wine. Then I'm going to take apart my gear and clean it out, and I'll just go through with happy confidence that maybe I missed it, and maybe it's in one of these pockets. And sure enough, down here in the dark, underneath my gloves, were my car keys. They had fallen in. I guess they fell off here. I had them on the back of the bike, and I had moved a few things around. I was getting my gear ready at the stealth camp, and then they must have fallen down here. And bouncing along as I pedaled or moved the bike, must have gotten below that, and if I checked, it's so dark down there. Anyway, the moral of the story is, my keys were sitting down there. I fished them out. Oh, there's a happy jingle. They're right down there. Underneath my gloves. I had to do the reenactment.